Welcome back, episode 54 of the KMBest podcast, except it might not be episode 54 of the KMBest podcast. An intrepid adventurer in the comments went back and they claim that I have released episode 31 twice, which definitely sounds like something that I would do because whenever, and people will know this from every YouTube video I've ever made, I copy the template for older YouTube videos onto my newer YouTube videos so I don't have to redo the metadata and all the tags and all the things like that. So I always just copy, whatever. So with the KMB cast, very often what it ends up doing is I will just change the number. But like if you've ever paid attention to my main channel, sometimes I will forget to change the number. So for example, a tier list will say, this is for the week before. That's happened before. One thing that's happened for an entire month, 8 Cubes said 2024 when it was 2025. Just never processed that for an entire month. That was definitely a thing that happened. So it is entirely possible that this is actually episode 55 of the KMB cast. And we're gonna need to figure out like what the canonical answer here is before we have like a schism.
I now have to speak through my cat. I hope this is okay.
That's the cutest shit I've ever seen in my life. My new cat, we have decided to name her Smokey. She hisses at me every time I go near her, which is she hisses at everyone whenever they go near her. She's growing so fast that we kind of think she might have been starving. I don't think she really had a great life. But she's very sweet. Like once she gets past the "you're very tall" thing, I'll pet her and she purrs and all of that, but she doesn't seek out affection the way a more habituated cat would. And she definitely is like, whoa, what are you doing in my space here? She's still in the bathroom. We've opened the door. There's bars in front. At some point, I will bring her on here. She is very small. She would fit in like the pocket here. A very, 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 very small cat. She weighs like 1.5 pounds. One of the smallest things I've ever like picked up. Incredibly tiny. And
send me pictures. What the hell, man?
I really should do that. That's actually a really good point. I'm the world's worst picture taker. All my screenshots are either a joke that I thought was funny or a picture that I was going to use for Twitter to put on like the tier list that I do. That's my entire screenshots folder is literally just that. I don't take pictures. I don't do it. For someone whose public life is broadcasting himself on the internet, I'm very self-conscious, I fear.
I used to not take photos, and then I just made a conscious decision to start doing that more. Because like no one else in our friend groups was doing it.
Yeah, I mean,
and then I got cats, and then it was downhill. I have 20,000 cat photos that are just my cats, and then maybe like 1,000 other things.
So something that happens to me is I'll get an idea in my head and then everything that I talk about then ties back to that idea. Like no matter whether or not the connection I'm making is a good connection or not, I interpret everything through the lens of like the idea that's in my head, right? And right now the idea in my head is I'm thinking a lot about meaning and performance. Thinking about like intended meanings of things and representations of ourselves and the necessary abstraction that we have in order to properly convey what we are thinking to someone else so they understand our mindset and all of the things that come with it. And like as someone who communicates for a living, obviously effective communication is something that you think about a fairly decent amount of the time. What effective means is different for different people. And for me, it's about the conveying of meaning rather than the specifics of wording. And a great example of this is, I believe I've told you about famously bad quarterback JJ McCarthy, aka 9, on this podcast before, yes?
Yeah. I didn't remember his actual name, but then you said 9, and I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's 9. His picture has become a modern hieroglyphic where if you do badly as a quarterback, you get poorly photoshopped, realistically AI'd. into this one specific picture of JJ McCarthy, the implication being like you are playing like him, you are ass, etc., right? There's a lot of meanings carried by that. And to convey it in one character, like when you think about something like this in relation to like kanji, right? Like a writing
Mm.
system that carries this meaning in one character. I think you could reasonably describe that picture of 9 as modern American kanji and the different quarterbacks photoshopped onto it as the sort of radicals that denote changes in intent in the meaning.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what memes are, right?
Yeah. I think that's like a fairly understood thing, but it's something I've been thinking about a lot because a lot of what I do is communicative, right? Is my communication style correct? I wouldn't be able to tell. Like I would have no idea. I think a lot of people, like when we talk about parasocial stuff, parasociality arrives from being correctly able to intuit meaning from what someone says when it's not literally what they say, even if you're not correctly intuiting it, but it arrives from
Yeah.
that vision of that person. That's a very intimate way to think. I think sometimes my girlfriend knows me better than I know myself. Like sometimes she just has a better image of me. Like I'm a pretty self-aware person, I think, but I'll be surprised occasionally by like how willing she is to put things in terms that I'm not willing to put them in. And this is all like meant to go a long way, but like when I'm trying to express the nuances of something and I don't really have a word for it, I can talk around the negative space of the thing I'm describing such that I don't need a word for it. Which is a long, 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 long way of saying is we need another word for something that's like a combo deck, but smaller than combo in Marvel Snap, because that's what Weapon H is doing.
Well, I made content for like I would say like a good 15 years, give or take. And not only did I do that for that length of time, but I think I put out maybe the most pieces of content, certainly like in the top 10 in terms of Magic people. And there is a I don't know if I could like graph this or whatever, where it's just like the way that Byron, the way that Jerry's readers were able to understand him, or like the depth of which Jerry's readers were understand. Like it would be like a straight up like, you know, we are doing it stonks kind of thing, where me calling you all idiots didn't really seem to get the job done. So I took a different approach, you know? And I continually tried to change the way that I attempted to communicate with folks. And I never got to the point where I was just like, here is an entire article with just memes. I think that would have been funny, but that's like a thing that maybe like Chapin would have done. But I think the best you can do is do what I do in the over autistic sense of just overly communicating everything in the hopes that you are not misunderstood. And I think you can just say those 2 sentences of words where it's like kind of a combo thing, but like not really, you know,
That's what I mean. That's what I do. I talk around the space that a word would occupy. But what I'm really I'm screaming out into the cosmos for someone to make the 9 image equivalent of a combo deck. Like what?
you ready?
Okay.
You soft combo.
It just sounds like no, because soft combo to me is more like the ongoing deck that has interaction in it. That's soft combo. That's a soft combo deck. But what I'm
So
talking
is
about
Weapon
is
H.
like no, Weapon H is that's a different thing. It's a point aggregator. It's a count the rings ass deck. It's a the thing that comes to mind about it is like when Shaq is talking to people on well, I guess formerly NBA and TNT. You know, how many rings do you have? How many rings do you have? I got look at all my rings. I got the rings, right? Like rings,
Who's got the
Ernie.
chips?
Yeah.
Was he really doing that?
Oh God, yeah. Shaq rocks.
That's crazy.
Shaq is 7 feet tall, Superman. and somehow one of the most deeply insecure people they put on
Right.
television. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's
That
one of the
is
weirdest things I've ever seen.
that is bananas to me. It's like, why do you need to even do that?
It is beyond me. It is a sort of well-known thing. If you watch enough, general things with Shaq in it, you'll notice like, wow, he has like my ego. Like, why would you be that hurt? You're Shaquille O'Neal. Like, why are you reacting to things the way a dumbass like me does? Like that's crazy.
Maybe if like LeBron never came around or something, I don't know.
His thing has always been to like dump on whoever like the next great center is supposed to be until they reach like a point where they're undeniable, and then he's like, they've earned my respect. like,
Wow.
he does that all the time. Like it's locked in. He famously hated Dwight Howard, who people compared him to a lot. The more you get compared with Shaq, the less Shaq likes you, I think.
Yeah.
So if you're like a great center, be a great center in like a different way. Like you can't be the same kind of guy, or he'll be like, you're on my turf, young blood. Like you can't, like it's a noticeable thing. I bring this up to say that like sort of in-group knowledge is pretty key to this sort of hieroglyphic method of communication, right? And that same in-group knowledge is a part of what allows people to interpret what I'm saying. My viewers are in the in-group of knowing what I'm talking about, right? It's funny you bring up Patrick Chapin, because I called JJ McCarthy the Patrick Chapin of interceptions the other day, like 3 hours ago. Because he was innovating new and impressive ways to throw interceptions.
Oh. So at first I was like, this sounds like it's going to be a dig, but no, not really. Like it is kind of, it's like, oh yeah, he cooked in the way that he turned over the ball. Yeah, that's great.
Mild interruption there. Gonna tangent from a tangent here to say that if you notice me being a little bit choppy, that was because my computer was unplugged. It went onto battery saver mode, which for some reason means every video, both recording and playback, stutters heavily for reasons I don't understand, but are probably related to, hey, idiot, don't use a laptop for this kind of thing. Anyway,
I've been saying it. Can I show you something real quick?
I did. There's a desktop coming soon. It is like, it's going to happen. Real.
Wow. Can I show you something?
Yes. I don't know how many games that says. Is that 11 games or 1 game?
That's 11.
Nice.
And my second most played deck, Black Panther, with 3.
Yeah, that's
in case y'all were wondering.
You're a filthy meta gamer.
Well, they did nerf stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then I just didn't play at all.
Yeah, I mean, we already did our precons are bad thing. I would finish my discussion of JJ McCarthy as the innovator of interceptions. What he ended up doing was he threw a pass that got batted back to him, that he then batted up into the air, that then was intercepted. I do think it's important through all this JJ McCarthy slander to note that he won tonight. Like
did he? Or did his team
no, he was actually good. He was actually good, except when he was throwing to his best receiver, and then he missed him wildly by, I don't know, 10 yards every time. But yeah, no, I think one of the things about I'm tangenting again. Okay. One of the things that's really interesting about modern NFL discourse is that everyone is very quick to react, because how reality is now is how you sort of create those hieroglyphic things, and that feeling of belonging to an in-group, of understanding the hieroglyphic. That's a big part of like why we participate in these online communities. And so, JJ McCarthy, what if he ends up actually being good? It's entirely possible. But right now he sucks. And so forever he is immortalized as the face of being dog shit. Even if he ends up good, the picture's still there, right? And we have this drive to use to create new words to use in communication with other people in our fan group, right? That kind of thing, like the feeling of belonging to a community that you can do when you do this kind of thing, that outweighs whether or not they're like accurate representations of reality. They're fully abstracted from that. That picture of JJ McCarthy at this point has nothing to do with JJ McCarthy. Like, not a thing. It is
Yeah.
just a denotation of bad quarterback play. And we have this like everything, it's becoming kanji. We've kanjified this discussion. Just the context of some story from 3,000 years ago is necessary to understand this, but it's not actually necessary to use it in a sentence, right? And I guess conjugification is like a little bit, orientalized, right? Because we have words that are entirely based on their context in like, Rome, right? Like the word dinero is from the Roman dinar, soldier from the solidus, all of that stuff, right? So I guess we have all those too, and it would be incorrect to phrase them the other way. Again, though, this is largely to say that I really need a word all combo that isn't small. Oh,
So Magic has combo decks where you assemble your combo and it says win the game, literally.
yes.
And then there are decks that are like, I will grape shot you for exactly 20, like illusions donate. And they're like, please don't play a spike feeder.
Yes.
Like to me, those are very different combo decks that don't often require a delineation. And I think that is the sort of thing that you're speaking of, where it's just like, okay, this thing, like Tribunal goes off and you make Reddit shitposting numbers, right?
Yes.
And I don't know. I feel like there needs to be language in Snap to be able to sort of describe what you're talking about, because the game is determined by numbers. Like, how many numbers can you do? So I'm not saying that we need a commander like bracket system or whatever, but kind of, yeah, it's like there are decks that put out like 50, and then there's some that put out like 60, there's some that put out 70, etc. And it's just like how they try to distribute those numbers matters a lot too, where it's like, oh, I'm trying to make 2 locations of 30 and ignore the third or whatever,
Yeah, so while that is a very fun suggestion, the only thing I could think of is telling players my deck is a 9 as like some sort of JJ McCarthy joke. Like, yeah,
Naturally.
I brought a 9, and it's just the stone cold dog shit worst deck you've ever seen. Like, that seems like what I would be doing with that system. We talk about hieroglyphics. Names of decks in Magic used to be this. Dead Guy Ale.
Yes.
Like, Maverick. I thought that stuff was the coolest shit on earth. When, like, every MTG Salvation forum for a deck in Legacy was just named, like, something that a nerd in 1997 thought would be cool. I thought that was awesome.
I did not.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty dumb. Yeah. What do I know?
Well, I probably a lot more about the names of Magic decks that are utterly incomprehensible. Like, I don't know. I really appreciate this sort of like conveying of meaning without actually conveying meaning, because words are such imperfect tools to express a mind state to somebody else, and that's really what we're trying to do. So when you say something, it carries implications for you that might not have the same implications for other people. It makes discussing any of this stuff really fraught, because especially on the internet, people's first instinct when they perceive you incorrectly is to just call you a dumbass. like not necessarily in so many words. I'm using call you a dumbass as a figure of speech here, but is to attack you as if you being wrong about something is a personal offensive thing to them. And if they're wrong about it, well, obviously they don't know that they're wrong about it. So that doesn't even
Right.
factor into the conversation for them. And it means that specificity of language is important. And this is my cry for help. Somebody please come up with a word that I can use to describe Weapon H and Scar decks. Because they're not combo. They're also not combo. And I don't know what they are, but they're something.
Soft combo.
Dude, my combo went flaccid. I can't believe
Yeah.
my combo went flaccid, dude.
It'll happen.
This never happens.
Tribunal.
No, this never happens. My combo never goes flaccid. It's never happened to me before. I promise you. It is. It has never happened to me. I swear. I promise.
It's funny because this is the 7th time you've told me this.
Baby, please. Just one more chance.
7th time this week.
That's it's important that the week is the time frame here because that's your entirety of existence, right? Like as clone number either 54 or 55, depending on whether or not my YouTube commenter was correct.
Yeah.
Like a good content creator would probably have checked. I personally, I'm gonna say I find the ambiguity more entertaining. I was actually just too lazy to click 3 buttons. Like that's the real answer there. Is like I can check, but I don't want to.
I also think good content creator is probably just assume that person in the comments was wrong.
Yeah, I think that's true. I don't know. I think a lot of people are like, don't read the comments, right? Don't read the comments. They're like, and I'm at a size where I am still able to try to engage with people as people, even though it's probably reasonable for me to just be like, this guy's a moron, let's write him off. I don't do that with people in real life. I don't know why I do that with people on the internet, right? I try to do that. So if
there's so many more of them on the internet.
Yeah, but there's just like
it saves you time.
I'm not sure my time is important enough to be saved, bro. I just spent 20 minutes talking about the hieroglyphics of memes. Fucking fart-smelling Reddit bullshit, dude.
You could repackage that and probably give a TED talk on it and be an intellectual, you know?
I could, but I don't think it's like a particularly incredible realization. It's just something that I've been thinking about a lot recently in terms of like what communication actually is and what we do when we talk to people and how tones of words and various other indicators are able to convey little bits of meaning that words not, all that stuff, you know? I think on some level, anytime you communicate with someone, you open up the possibility of being misunderstood or rejected or your understanding of the world being not conveyed to this person in a proper way. And weirdly, that's actually just what Neon Genesis Evangelion is about. That's like the whole show right there is that sentence. But that, I guess it's not surprising that I would be someone who thinks about this a lot. Because of course I would, right?
And of course you like Evangelion.
Oh yeah, no, that was part of that sentence, yeah.
Yeah. And I don't talk to anyone. And that is, it's not because of that, but
because you were born a week ago in a vat.
That certainly helps, yeah. But it is a nice side benefit of not talking to anyone. It's like, oh, I haven't been misinterpreted in a while, whether or not it was in good faith or bad faith. The bad faith ones are the worst.
So would you say you would you then choose to turn humanity into like a soup of goo where nobody would ever misunderstand each other anymore? Would you participate in the ultimate goal of End of Evangelion, or would you allow us to be separate and maintain the capacity for love despite our differences?
I'll plead the fifth on that.
Are you pro goo or anti goo, Gerry?
Plead the fifth.
Goo or no goo? You must answer as a being formed from goo.
This kind of matches my hoodie. The bottom part.
Yeah. I described Gerry without the facial hair, which I'm sure people are surprised I didn't comment on at the beginning of the podcast. Uh, because I commented on it before we started recording, which is everyone's favorite thing to hear on a podcast is we talked about this off screen. Everyone loves hearing that. And I said he looks so much younger. He looks like you could pass for 23. And then I was like, but like not a good 23, like a sort of
busted 23,
like not a busted 23, like a Sonic cosplayer 23. Like the vibe of you shaved is like, wow, everything except his eyes are so young. Like it's like you know that you see like an old soul. That's what it feels like. It's like the vibe is like there's this very fresh young person in there, and the eyes, it's just like, I played Pro Magic for 15 years. I feel nothing but pain.
No, I mean content for 15 years. I played Pro Magic for like 20.
Yeah. This is like you could see it. You could see the scars in there.
I've seen more convention centers than you could possibly name.
I don't think I could name one. So, I mean, you got me beat. I, on the other hand, look like an aging offensive lineman and not aging well. Like, I look like I used to be in shape, but no longer am. Like a football player who never lost the weight. That's how I carry myself. I can't let myself off the hook here in terms of calling people busted. We logged on today, and Gerry was like, I mentioned his facial hair, and he was like, yeah, man, I can tell, like, not in so many words, it's like, I could tell you haven't been taking care of your beard lately.
You said it first. I was just like, yeah, I can tell too, because
you can tell. Yeah. Because you can tell. Yeah, no, I got like 3 hours of sleep last night because I say last night, I mean, I got like 3 hours of sleep earlier today because I stayed up all night playing Mountain Blade Bannerlord. I played 13 hours of that game. My hand hurts really badly. So that's where I'm at. That's what I have done. I've been a very productive gamer. The day before that, I stayed up all night playing Marvel Snap and not streaming it. Turns out, by the way, even when I'm not on stream, people still emote me and I still get mad. I learned that.
Mute them.
Oh man. Dude, I lost.
Everyone.
I played 2 games of the Nexus all night. Both times were against a guy with Quake. I lost to the Quake twice for a total of 12 cubes against that specific one guy. I was in pain, brother. I was in pain. And I think, I'm not sure what that tells me. I'm going to be trying to stream Monday. I don't want to like super commit to it, but the day you hear this, I should be streaming. And hopefully we'll see if there's anything there, but it is sort of gratifying to know that that's not a stream construct. I'm just a man child, you know?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. This is a known issue.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this was a thing that was supposed to be patched out a few patches ago.
Yeah, I mean, Second Dinner's never been great about that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I took a look at the I'm sorry?
No, it's definitely what I meant. It's like it's their fault. Yeah, you're right.
That's exactly what you meant. Like, how else could that possibly have been interpreted? How is this not Second Dinner's fault? I am the average Ask the Team poster. Have you ever taken a look at Ask the Team?
No. I mean, certainly not recently.
I really want to do, and I don't know if this is feasible because it's kind of like not opting into it. Whenever I do hot takes, it's like you opted into me like roasting your suggestion, right? Like that's part of the bit. I kind of want to read through Ask the Teams and just be like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. This is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. This is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. Because like so many of them are not even like dumb per se, but like intentionally worded in the way of like, when did you stop beating your wife?
Yeah.
they're all kind of like that. And not every Ask the Team, but like a shocking amount of the questions Glenn Jones specifically responds to are like, was it intentional that you fucked my mom? Like, did you guys mean to fuck my mom? I don't know if you guys meant to do. You definitely fucked my mom, but I don't know if you guys meant to do it or if you just accidentally fucked my mom. You know, like I just need that clarification. That's
And
a
Glenn's
lot
like,
of them.
I'll take this one.
It's like Glenn looks like a sea of questions and finds the most bad faith one, and he's like,
That's mine.
"Excuse me, I'm Glenn Jones, and I think you've made some improper assumptions and leaps in logic here."
I love Glenn.
So funny, man. Like he'll just take like whatever you could possibly like. Just if someone talked to me the way people talk to like anyone in a service industry, which game dev definitely is, I would lose my shit. Now, when I did work in the service industry, this was pretty rare because I'm a pretty large guy. So, like, I just sort of naturally, it doesn't happen to me that much. The way in which people do this on the internet, I'll do this in my comments because I can't, like, shove you through the screen or whatever, right?
Right.
Like, but, like, they feel like on YouTube, I can just be like, I don't work for you. Shut the fuck up. But nobody who works for a game company can be like, you're a dumb asshole. Because then it's a big deal. Ooh, you can't do that. And it's just like, I wonder what the utility of that is for Glenn. Because I can't imagine anything other than he enjoys it.
It's a little bit of a dub.
Go on.
No, you just like, you see something that's clearly bad faith, you dunk on them real quick, and then you get to post it for all to see.
So he's getting like a visceral, like for him responding to acknowledging this stuff, responding to it. One would argue that would just incentivize further worse behavior.
It incentivizes attention-seeking behavior specifically, I think, which not great to incentivize because there is plenty of that out there. But I do think there is some merit to, say, you execute a criminal and you hang their head or their body or whatever, like at the entrance to your town.
Just not the direction I expected Mr. Anti-Carceral Justice to come at this from. You know what I mean?
I'm saying that there is some merit. I'm not saying that I would do that.
Interesting. Okay.
I would certainly not execute criminals. I would probably give them money and a therapy appointment.
I will remember that when the revolution comes, brother. I will take that under advisement when.
But you understand how if you do that,
yes,
if you do that, it is dissuading to some degree. Where it's like, oh, I'm walking into this town and I see this. Well, maybe I shouldn't steal from here.
I think that we talk about language and meanings, right? Like, I think it doesn't parse like that to 80% of people. I think 80% of people read it and say, this guy got the devs to answer a hard question, and then they just talked around it anyway. Look at this nerd playing word games instead of just giving a yes or no answer to a question that's like, yes or no, did you fuck my mom intentionally?
Okay, but who was actually playing word games? Was it the original person, or was it, in this case, Glenn Jones?
Well, I mean, I actually do think that Glenn Jones does some word game stuff. I do think that. Like, it is necessary to fight on the same battlefield, right? Like, in order to... I think there's a sort of idea that, like, you could simply communicate a lot of things, that if you actually tried to simply communicate, people would just get really fucking mad at you because of all these various nuanced situations that they can project your answer onto and make it look like you're an asshole.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Glenn is definitely a guy who sometimes when I talk to him, which is not often, but it has happened, I'll be like, hey, I think XYZ. And he'll be like, oh, but actually, and then sort of like judo flip it. And you'll be like, yeah, okay. Like, I guess I shouldn't have thought that way, huh? And a struggle for me is parsing that as something that isn't a loss. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's a W for Glenn.
Yes, that's what I mean, right? Like you gotta. It's like
the transitive property. It is kind of an L for you, but
yeah.
it is a dub in so much that Glenn took time out of his schedule to learn you something, and now you are a more well-rounded human being.
Yeah,
That's a dub.
Sure. Yes. I don't know. I really wonder about the state of Ask the Team because it seems to just be the like ask Glenn Jones a leading question corner.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of the function of it.
Which, to be clear, I think is not without merit. It is pretty funny.
It's really funny. Like it is
I
the
think,
coolest thing that they have going.
Honestly, I think if like 15 years ago, I was, someone was like, oh, what sort of column or, thing should like Glenn be involved in? I might be like, this sounds like it would be peak,
Yeah, dude. Good. Just Glenn Jones gets asked leading questions. It's like the premise of the series. You're selling me on doing this as content. What we do is we get like a reenactor, right? And do guest voiceover reads of the questions and the responses. And that's content. That's just funny. That's just, I bet there's at least one video in there. It would be like very slop, like, reacting to Ask the Team, shocked face. But a lot of my content is slop coded anyway.
It doesn't have to be reacts. Isn't it just like, oh, this person reads YouTube comments or whatever?
Yeah, maybe. What I really want to do is I should get Glenn on and have my Discord come up with leading questions to ask him.
No, because he already does that enough.
I just like I think it's the greatest thing on earth, right? Because I think there's like a fairly large contingent of anyone on any mobile game player base who just like sort of a priori regards the devs as just scum. Like that's just
they're just punching bags, right?
Yes, they are providing me a service and I'm paying dearly for that service, and frankly if anything I get is not to my liking, that's fucking your fault. And if you
isn't it crazy? Isn't it crazy how all these companies come together just to make a game for you specifically? You have 100 little servants who are very skilled at their different jobs and whatnot, and they're all just catering to your whim so that you can log in for 10 minutes a day and then spend 2 hours complaining on the internet about it.
I mean, I think you actually do touch on the thing that like I notice about this is that it's the power dynamic, right? You are discussing someone, you are haranguing someone or demanding an answer from someone who for various reasons is incapable of giving you the honest one, which is that you are an asshole, right? Like that's like, and so I wouldn't call it like an abuse of the power dynamic, but like it is an attempt at wrangling a preferred answer from a, in some ways, captive or restricted subject.
So, real talk, I'm gonna back this way up. Okay. Way up. I think that there is merit to a channel like this, assuming that people would approach it in good faith, where like there are these game devs who are offering up their time to answer your burning questions, right? And it is really just weird to me that someone sees this channel and is just like, why do you fuck my mom or whatever? Like that just doesn't make any sense to me at all. And I think if people were like, oh, this season was really interesting because of like these design decisions, and like, did you think that maybe if you released cards in this order that it would have a different effect or whatever, like in theory, there are a lot of cool questions that people could ask. But those people don't use the channel, and especially now, because you probably just see it as like, oh, this is the Ask Glenn leading questions column. This is not where I am supposed to go.
I mean, It's sort of a known thing in my Discord that like anytime someone has an opinion, what they'll do is they'll format it as an ask the team and then post a screenshot of their formatted ask the team because like the most recent one was like, do you guys think this is like bait enough that I'll actually get it answered? Like it's come up a lot. The discussion of proper formatting of ask the teams in order to trick Glenn Jones, or not even trick, he knows, right? Like I would imagine that this is like a thing. So it's like, just all right, how much catnip do I have to put in there? Right now, people are stuck. The meta is on the word intentionally, where it's just like a bad thing happened, and then you're like, did you do it intentionally? That's the meta right now. Are you okay, dude?
I hate humanity, man. I hate it, dude.
All right, so here's what we've learned from Gerry Thompson today. 1, I hate humanity. 2, I would try to rehabilitate every criminal. I am extrapolating this into you are pro goo.
I choose to not answer.
That's exactly, see it, pro goo. He's a goother. That's what our boy here is.
This feels like the Ask Gerry leading questions segment.
I'm not I would not really describe what I'm doing as asking you questions so much as it's assigning beliefs to you and then choosing that I will incorporate the fact that you believe these things into my belief system. It is not, there's no asking happening.
Well, also, and then like assigning whatever least good faith thing, like most bad faith thing, onto like why you would possibly have those beliefs.
Right. Like there's a really great quote from, I think it was Sartre, talking about how if you believe in words and you believe in discourse, then you will get taken advantage of by the anti-Semite who plays with words, who does not necessarily believe that like communication is the way by which their will is enacted. What happened to your head? Your cat knocked your camera?
So yeah, here's the thing. I thought that maybe just over time my camera was sinking. And now just in real time, I witnessed my cat just knock it down. And now I know.
Well, I mean, functionally in real time it is. That is actually a true statement. Look at that. We're getting the down shirt view. Patreon, that shit. God. Sorry, going back to Sartre's quote about the anti-Semite has the luxury of playing with words. They don't actually have to engage in discourse as something that is an expression of belief. They just engage in it as a way of disseminating propaganda, right? And what I've learned is they were totally onto something. That's not the lesson you're supposed to take from what Sartre is talking about there, but it's a great rhetorical tactic. That shit works. That is an absolute A1 first round draft pick of rhetorical tactics on the internet, is just be like, you think this, and then that is bad.
Yeah.
Plan A.
Yeah, I agree. And I hate that. And dude, we're talking about communication and being like misconstrued and how much I absolutely hate that.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, let me assign some some beliefs to you. And I'm just like, nope, I'm good. I'm good.
That's why you're pro goo. It's established. Canon. I feel like we've gone like 40 minutes talking around Marvel Snap, but actually not talking about anything happening in the game. That's because nothing is happening in the game. The metagame is what it was.
I just looked at your decks. Yeah. I just looked at your decks and I was like, oh, these are like all, I mean, you know, some of them are the same, but like a lot of it was new, at least like their placements.
A charitable person would call this a golden age. Everything's viable. You can do whatever the hell you want. It's all there. A non-charitable person would be like, well, that was true last week, and we talked about it last week, and now I can't say anything new, because it's all like there's some minor adjustments, right? Like Ramp is 1 or 2 cards different. You can do things like that. V-Hand is still good. There's a bunch of other weird combo decks, but like largely what this is there just simply are no standouts. There are no, this is the best deck. It's just a bunch of like things that occupy various spaces, and they all try to occupy various spaces in, generally different ways. There are 4 genders of deck. There is Ramp, there is Cosmo Juggernaut, there is Shadow King, and there is some unaccountably large number of points. Those are the 4 genders. I will be taking no questions on this at this time.
And to be clear, there might be 4 genders today, but that doesn't mean that there can't be 7 tomorrow.
Right. Joe Biden once said, when asked how many genders there are, at least 3, which I think probably you can't give a better answer than that. At least 3. Nailed it. Just
yeah.
Good job, Joe. I appreciate that you're trying. At least 3. Yeah, I doesn't understand any of it, but knows the right thing to say. I
think he tripped and fell into that one. I'm gonna be honest. I don't have a lot of faith in Joe. I'm just saying.
That's crazy. You don't have a lot of faith in the mental acuity of Joe Biden? Well,
I didn't say that.
He's
you just described it to me, but yeah.
I'll just throw this out there. Your audio died right when you were about to say something mean about Joe Biden.
Oh, I
no,
said
no,
that...
don't do it. He's clearly here. Like, I'm surprised the reflexes are still there for the guy, but clearly if you try to say it again, they're going to cut your feet again. They with a capital T.
They.
I apologize to Joe Biden and to the CIA agent listening to this podcast before we recorded. I am sorry for disrespecting what is clearly your goat. Please don't take away my internet. I am craven and small, and I will do nothing to stop you if you take away my treats. I think that Weapon H is kind of like a goated card design. Like, I play that card and I'm just like, this is sick. I like what this, thumbs up. It has given me a real appreciation for discard as a deck, with the exception of 1 card in that deck. Can you guess what that card is that I think is just a deeply offensive piece of shit?
Power Man.
No. He's great. No. It's Gambit. Fuck that card.
Oh.
Get that guy out of here. Like, I don't mean because I lose to Gambit. I mean because I have to play Gambit. That's my problem. Is like I have to like actively think about game planning for this asshole's aim. I'm not doing that. Fuck off.
So listen. I immediately went to the spot of what is the thing that is like kind of RNG dependent. I chose the wrong one.
Yeah.
That's my bad.
Yeah, you have a lot more control over Zombie Power Man, right? Plus, that guy's just dope. He's just cool as hell. I actually really regret not buying the Rian Gonzalez Zombie Power Man. The one zombie Rian I didn't get because I'm stupid and I was like, I'll never play that card. Wrong. Idiot. But
you're a ramp guy and discard guy now. That's who you are.
I would be discard guy if Gambit wasn't in the deck. Like, genuinely, I would play the shit out of that deck if it wasn't just like that. I love it. I loved playing it. I ended up defaulting to another dumb guy deck, which is ongoing. Big dumb guy deck era for me.
What is up with you liking the Rian stuff despite her plagiarizing? Is it because Snap doesn't give the artist any money anyway?
Yeah, that's definitely what it is. I personally think that it's only ethical to consume art of people who copy things if you pirate it. Snap is so terrible to all the artists that it obviously is morally equivalent to pirating it. No, I think her art is cool.
To be clear, I don't think it is Snap that is terrible to artists. I think it is Marvel.
Right. Sure. But
just want to be clear.
I am, here's the thing. It's the best art in the game. I know she got exposed for tracing, but I don't care. I care, you know? I care, but I don't care enough to change my behavior. And I think that's the important thing.
Well, this is the thing though, right? Is like people say they care about things up until the point where it inconveniences them.
You know, it's not even like it's inconveniencing me. It would actually be more convenient to me in the sense that I would have more money were I not to do this.
Right. But you still like to look at pretty chibi art.
Yep. I don't know. I think the question of the art versus the artist is actually a pretty deep one. But I also think that me bringing it up is me doing a cop-out. Like, I do think that pretending this is like a philosophical conversation is like a little bit jerk-offy of me, if I had to guess.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna be an intellectual right now.
Yeah. Right. Like, let me intellectualize my bad decisions until I've said enough words about them that you just kind of give up and let me get away with it. Like, that's my strategy.
You just give the SUV whatever, man.
That's accurate to how I feel. Actually, is it's like, you know, don't you care that she got caught plagiarizing? It's like, whatever, man. Like, I know it's bad. I know it's a bad thing. But Gerry, you and I both know there's no ethical consumption under capitalists, which means I am free to make any dumbass, incredibly amoral purchasing decision I want.
That's not what that means.
I and my Raytheon stock would thank you to stop critiquing my purchases.
Yep.
But like wokely, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
I get it. I understand.
I to the best of my knowledge, do not own any stocks in Raytheon.
The best of your knowledge?
Yeah, I have a Roth IRA. I assume that gets invested by a company, right?
Oh.
And they like, you know, I have
Look
no
at
idea.
you.
Yeah. I mean, I also don't really contribute to it very much. You should really max out your Roth IRAs if you have them. But yeah, the setup punchline I was going for there was I have no Raytheon stocks. I'm all Boeing, but you know.
Oh.
It's fine. The time has passed. It's whatever. No, I mean, like, honest to God, my answer is I will give you my actual answer, which is whatever, man. And then the sort of attached philosophical concept that I actually think is pretty interesting is what does not even forgiveness or redemption, what does moving on from something look like to a different person, right? For you, it's like, she plagiarized, I will no longer patronize her or anything involving her. And I guess my question would be, what would it take to change that, if anything could?
It's not even so much that she did it. It was that she, A, did not apologize, and then B, lied about it multiple times, and then deleted her socials.
Yeah, that isn't a good look for my girl.
It is the absolute worst in terms of, like, do you feel remorseful for this?
Right. Well, actually, that's actually kind of an important point. Like, what is that what would have to be demonstrated to you in order for you to change your reaction to it? Is like you would have to believe that she feels remorseful.
The sliding scale is kind of like if she had been like, I apologized, and hopefully she actually did do that, and then that was kind of the end of it. But also instead there were like more instances in the comments coming out where people were like, oh, I think she traced this one too. You know, because she was just like, oh, I was overworked and had a deadline, and like that's why I did this, and blah blah blah, and like basically nothing that what she said was true. But say she was like, I did do this, there are no excuses, I apologize to the person, maybe offered some sort of like restitution or whatever, cool, that would be like, okay, I will not fuck with her very much. And I will probably not call you out for fucking with her. I might ask you, maybe not on the cast, but like given how she handled things and how obviously bad it was, I will now question you and also try to convince you that it's bad.
I'm still on my SUV here, where
So you don't care, but that is, I think, maybe you are not friends with artists, or like really
yeah,
have
that's more or less true. Like, I don't want to get like too doxy with it. My girlfriend, like, this is, that's my girlfriend's art on the wall. Like, I
okay.
don't know how she would self-identify. I think a lot of her stuff tends to be done in a written medium more so than this. But like, yeah, like I can't honestly say I've had a serious conversation about it. We talk about it in the context of AI. Someone said that once, like, something she wrote, someone was like, I'm going to feed this in, or maybe it wasn't something she wrote, but like a peer of hers wrote. We had a discussion about someone feeding their work into AI to like write another chapter of it, basically, and how, like, violating and unpleasant that was.
Yeah.
I understand the parallels here. I do. I really do. I think largely that if I hewed to that moral standard, I would mostly be unable to function in society. And so what do I mean by that is, like, assuming I again, we talked about like the Kantian categorical imperative, right? I believe this is wrong, so I will act in that way across society. Um, if I want to get a new phone, which I have to because my current phone is a bomb. Fun fact, it is apparently absolutely going to blow up, according to every one of my YouTube comments. Someone actually sent me a new phone to use, which is their old phone, so that my phone did not explode in 1,000-degree fire. Anyway, if I were to get a new phone, it would have AI crap on it, right?
Yep.
I use Canva. Canva has integrated AI. I use a program built into Canva that existed before they integrated AI that removes the background from my screenshots. Now they call it an AI background removal thing. Am I, like, again, it's like, am I not supposed to use that? I asked Grok one time if Elon Musk could be deemed as Yakub's greatest creation. Is that an immoral act? Like, I don't know. I think that generally drawing those lines is quite difficult for me. And so, selfishly, I default towards whatever I feel like I want to do. That's probably the moral thing to do.
Yeah, not willing to do much that would make you uncomfortable or get in your way of life.
No, I'm an American. What do you take away my treats? I order M&Ms delivered to me in a car. That I've done that. I've DoorDashed M&Ms. Now with other stuff, but the purpose of it is always I want some M&Ms, but I need to put some other stuff on here so it's not like I'm DoorDashing M&Ms. But I've done that. That's happened.
Well, that you could spin in a positive light, where like if you wanted to go get M&Ms, you would still probably have to take a car to do it. Right? So now that you are just facilitating, the gig economy and paying this person to do you a service. Like, you are trickle down economics in real time.
God, yes. God, you're really selling me on this. Here I was ashamed of it, Here I was thinking that DoorDashing M&Ms was something to be embarrassed of. Peanut M&Ms, by the way, the goat M&M, not even
gross.
What?
I don't like M&Ms at all.
Oh, okay.
Peanut or otherwise.
I'll just chuck that opinion out somewhere. Whatever. Anyway,
I'm not a big chocolate guy. I'm sorry.
A reasonable
I don't know what it is.
Yeah. I was gonna do like a bit where I was like, this really speaks to like the alienation of the modern American from the way in which their economy is ordered and the things in which the ways in which we exploit the third world in order to have all these comforts and things of that nature, and then go from there into like in the old days, I would have just walked down to my M&M fields, but now I can't even walk down to my M&M fields and harvest the M&Ms in order to not travel by car. I must participate in this. It is forced upon me by the global economy and, more generally American empire and exploitation that results in our comforts at the imperial core. Bring back the M&M plants.
Or get an EV or something. I don't know.
Can't even do that anymore, man. You get an EV, the guy who makes the EV might turn out to be the next Adolf Hitler. Like you can't do that shit. You can't. It's
Prius.
over.
Prius is Prius bad?
I was talking mostly about Elon here.
I understand who you were talking about.
Really? I thought I was being pretty subtle.
Yeah. Oh.
I was sneaking it in there, just a little subtle Hitler comparison. Just
I was just like, man can't buy a Prius anymore. What is going on?
Yeah, you didn't know that, like, John Prius was actually like the guy right below Goebbels in the Nazi hierarchy.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah,
it wouldn't surprise me. I would be like, oh wow, I can't believe it.
Yeah, no, I mean, it is a shocking decision for them to name a car after him, but I guess after 1952 he did become the chancellor of West Germany, so maybe there's more good things to be said about John Prius, or perhaps less good things to be said about denazification of Germany. Anyway,
also, maybe we should have seen that coming.
What, the Tesla thing, that he was like he's just a crazy insane dickhead?
No, just assuming you're Make-em Up's Chancellor of West Germany, right, yes. John Prius.
Yeah, Chancellor of West Germany, John Prius. The wider world knows
Johann Prius.
Johann Prius, like spelled.
Well, right.
Yeah.
But that's like the rolling R's thing,
Dude, the name John across all of history is actually totally insane. Like the shit they'll translate as like John so-and-so, and the actual way they would have pronounced it is like Johannes. It's like, what the fuck do you mean John? If you go back in time and you call that dude John, they'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? We don't have Smash Brothers right anymore.
Yeah.
We never invented Johns. We had no Johanneses. That's what we had.
Trying to think of the other variations of no Johns. I'm failing. This is like, I knew all of this at one point. It has since left my memory, and I think I'm okay with that. So dude, we're just gonna leave it there.
Did you know Ian is John?
No.
Yeah. IAIN. Eon. John. Eon. Like, it's the same root. It's the same, like that's the word. It's so messed up, man. It's so messed up. Linguistics are fucked. Like, everything is Johns. There are Johns everywhere.
No Ians.
No Ians, dude.
No, that's my goat right there. All right.
Only Ians. We need more Ians.
Yo, you should honestly get Ian Robb to read the dev comments or the dev questions. That's what you should do.
Okay, I'll bite. Why?
I think it would be gas, and you were looking for a reason to have him on. So
yeah. I mean, that's
I think he'd be good at it.
The funniest card game related thing I think anyone's ever done. Like, Pokemon player DQ'd from Worlds for jerk off motion.
No, rolling dice motion.
Again, we talk about how different words can different
because he
symbols
was
have
playing a
different
gambit mirror match.
connotation. Yeah,
Gambit mirror match. You see.
yes. Can we get an emote? I mean, the domino one where like her hand is already open, rolling the dice. But I need one of like 2 seconds before in that canon where she's just, getting the dice
And
ready
if
to
you
roll.
spam it, it never gets to the end where she's rolling the dice. It is just her rolling forever.
It's weird that there's no resolution to that. It's odd, but I mean, that's the Marvel Snap community for you,
Yeah, weird.
Can't believe they don't do that. I can't believe. This should be the beginning of a push to recontextualize the domino emote via this hieroglyphic system as the Ian Robb emote. So like,
well,
you use it
those
to connote
emotes,
that hand motion.
Those emotes, honestly, have taken on a hieroglyphic system of their own.
Bang!
Right?
Now we're cooking with gas. Yes. They're also papered over an existing hieroglyphic system. Like the Black Panther emote is that skeptical looking kid. That's who it is. It's the kid who's going like staring at you. There are a bunch of them that are like meme references. They're already hieroglyphics that have become even more we've added so many radicals to this kanji that it doesn't even resemble the root character anymore. Right? The famous Chinese saying that every dipshit in a business class will tell you is that the Chinese character for risk is like a combination of the characters danger and opportunity. And like business dipshits love that. Like it's their favorite it's the only thing they know about China. Like it is their favorite fucking thing on earth, right? And just every danger carries within it opportunity. Like oh god, it's fucking poetry for a business 300 level class. They will go crazy for that shit.
Is this how we radicalize libertarians?
I think, just on balance, I would guess that this mostly unsolvable problem was not solved by 2 white guys on a podcast talking about Marvel Snap. If I had to guess.
No. You see, you bait them with a thing like that. That gets them to download Red Note or whatever.
That's
and then you just drip feed them.
That's another one. That's another one where it's like, in order to make that app more palatable to Americans, Xiaohongshu, it's like a deliberate reference to Mao's Little Red Book. But when Americans translate it, they take that connotation out. I think because it's offensive. Like, that would be my guess. Or at least just it's safer not to have that connotation in it when you talk about it. So instead it translates it as right. So instead it's translated as Red Note. And it's like, oh, okay, that's interesting. I didn't, ways in which radicals can be added for, I mean, this is pretty clearly for political purposes. I don't really know what those purposes are, but like something's going on there.
Well, I think the purpose was to actually get cleared through the App Store. Like, hey, don't look too hard at this. Nothing to see here.
Yeah, that's famously worked out really well for Chinese developers. Just
we're the least offensive.
Do you remember that guy, the senator from Louisiana, who was asking CEO of TikTok, who is Singaporean, if he's ever been a national, like an agent of China? Have you ever been part of the Chinese government? Just like all these things that would only make sense if he was Chinese. He's like, no, dude, I'm Singaporean. It's a totally different place. Like oh man, it's super rocks. That's one of the coolest things on is ways in which language will be changed organically and inorganically. And in this case, that's like an inorganic change.
Imagine getting called into like a congressional hearing or whatever, only to just be microaggressed in front of like you
Microaggressed.
know,
What are you talking
well,
about? They will macroaggress your shit, dude. You
yeah,
get Lauren Boebert talking at you, she will call you a slur. Like, what are we doing here? Like that. Like if I had to listen to John Fetterman talk, I think my brain cells would die. Like,
I was being generous. I don't know why, but
yeah.
you are correct, obviously.
John Fetterman defines the term macroaggression. That dude. Woo. By the way, did you know he released his autobiography the other day? You
No,
want to guess what the name of it is?
Glenn Fetterman. No, I don't know.
Unfettered.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
I
low hanging
mean,
fruit. That's kind of expected.
yeah, I mean, which is weird because you'd think at his size he could reach onto the higher branches of the tree, but just didn't seem to do it.
Strikes me as kind of a lazy guy, though.
I think the pitch for him has always been like, whatever your ideology is, Shrek. Like, that's sort of been like, what if we had a well-meaning ogre in the Senate? Like, that's the pitch for John Fetterman, except instead of being well-meaning, he's not that. Like,
Yeah.
that's like beloved Midwestern oaf John Fetterman. Like, that's the idea, right? And instead, he's just like inexplicably a war hawk. There's just one of the weirdest arcs we've ever seen.
Yeah. I wish for all these things that we bring up and talk about, there could be like cool things. Like good things.
Well,
Like, oh, this person like plagiarized art and like this guy sucks or whatever. Where is the like, I don't know, nice stuff?
well, the thing is, I get vast enjoyment out of these things. So who is to say if they're good or bad? You know? Drunk driving,
it's funny.
drunk driving might be bad, but it also gets me to work on time. So who's to say?
That's got a few layers to it. Yeah, that's great.
It's you can't prove that, you know? Yeah, who's to say if it's bad or not? I'm a moral relativist, and the things are relative to is however I feel about them.
Yeah, no, we've established that clearly.
Yeah.
And
Just
I have attempted to speak out in opposition and have been silenced. So I will cease.
you're allowed to speak out in opposition to try to cure me of this moral apathy. But I just don't
It would
think
be
it'll
a
work.
Sisyphean effort, whatever that guy's name is, Sisyphus. That one.
Sisyphean. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You did get it.
Too
In
many
fairness.
S's.
Yeah.
Too many S's.
Yeah.
It'd be easier if we could just say like Johnny-ian, Let's just change everything to John.
We fucking tried, dude. Ian is
I know.
John. Was Sisyphus how they
Yeah.
said John back in the day? Fucking probably. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was,
No
his
matter
name was
what,
Johnny
it is now.
Rocks.
That's how we say it now.
His name was Johnny Rocks. I told you about the Peter one. That pisses me the fuck off, right? I haven't told you about this one?
You did. I don't recall. So you have the stage,
name
my friend.
Peter is Greek for rock, right? Petros, right? That's Greek, right? In Aramaic, which is what Jesus would have been speaking, it's Cephas, however you pronounce a C, probably with a K sound. That was the actual name. And then they translated it into Greek because okay, here's where things get even stupider. Peter's actual name was Shimon, something along those lines. And Jesus described him as the rock on which he would build the church. That rock is Kephas Petros, translated that way, right?
Okay.
The problem is they don't make a distinction between names they transliterate and names they translate.
Yeah, so Peter was his stage name.
Yeah. It's
you know?
it's it's a bit like kind of like if you called The Rock the Petros.
Yeah,
Like that's I just realized his granddad was High Chief Peter Maivia.
The Rock. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's messed up. I don't think that was intentional on the grounds of I don't think professional wrestling is in the business of making, obscure biblical references. But that is cool as hell that his name was Peter and The Rock is The Rock.
It is weird to me that you're just like, oh yeah, I know The Rock's grandfather's name.
He was also a wrestler, but yeah, it comes up. Like The Rock's current gimmick is very tied into his own legacy. So you hear him talk about High Chief Peter Maivia and all of that fairly often. There's like a whole thing going on there with a faction named the Bloodline.
Oh, wait, is he still wrestling?
Yeah, he comes back every so often and like gets goosebumps, and then like what he'll do, this is his move. He'll get goosebumps when he hears the crowd cheer, and then he'll look at the camera and he'll like put his arm in front of the camera so you could see the goosebumps, and then just like tap on them. That's his move now. He does that a lot. He's a big fan of that move.
He learned how to get goosebumps on command, and he just can't stop showing off.
I honestly think that is entirely possible, right? Like the
Yeah.
Undertaker's entire character came from this is a guy who knows how to roll his highs back in his head.
Yeah.
So like I don't know, I fully believe that The Rock could learn to give himself goosebumps on purpose.
He's just like, I took an acting class or whatever, and
Come on now. That
now
is so
I am
fucking-
the goat.
That is so fucking not true. The Rock has never taken an acting class. Have you seen his movies? Get the fuck out of here.
I've seen many of his movies, in fact. All
Yeah?
right, I'll have you know.
He's never taken an acting class. Come
Well,
on now.
I've listened to them while I'm doing something else. I'll say that.
A shocking amount of screenshots of people consuming my content are me in a little tiny corner on their screen while they're doing some other shit. It's crazy. Like the amount of that exists. Someone joined my Discord the other day, posted a picture of them playing and listening to my podcast at the same time, and repeatedly referred to me as KMBest because they were using voice to talk. So instead of KM, it was just Cam. And I just
can't be bothered to type.
Yes, like it's so foreign to me. The whole concept of that person's existence, their interiority must be so different from mine, you know?
I get voice messages from folks and I never listen to them. I just look at the transcript.
There's a trans. Oh, you mean like on iPhone? I get them on
or yeah,
Discord.
for like text or whatever. And it's like, yeah, okay, there's maybe some AI there, but it's like I can't be bothered to listen to 50 seconds of what? What? Say it.
Just, take away your treats, see what happens, right?
What am I gonna do? It's there. Like if it's not like I can turn it off.
What am I gonna do? There's a Rian Gonzalez variant in my shop. It's there.
You cannot buy it. You cannot.
You could not.
You
use
cannot
this.
post your Twitter deck list with all Rian Gonzalez pictured things.
I actually hadn't thought about that. That actually is like there's probably a much more compelling moral thing for not promoting it, as opposed to there's some of the implications of having a quote unquote platform are actually genuinely lost on me. But yeah, I hadn't thought about that. Because I've been thinking of it as a personal choice, but nothing I do is a personal choice.
Well, that is a personal choice. Is I will continue to promote her on the platform in which she had this meltdown and deleted her account.
I don't know. God, I was actually going to say something that probably wasn't dunking on you, but then you were like, what, say it. And I was like, all right, I guess I'll just do it. Like,
say it.
Like,
I'm
I
here.
didn't even really want to do it. I was really going to say, like, the thing I was actually making that face for was like, I was preparing to say this, which was like, Don't tell my girlfriend. She sends me a lot of voice messages. I play them all on like 1.5 or 2 times speed. I read
Oh,
so much faster than I can
yeah.
listen, and I have to speed it up or I am totally unable to like I just get bored. How fucked up is that? I'll get bored halfway through talking to the person that I love or listen. I guess it's not talking to, but like listening to in real time. When we have a normal conversation, that doesn't happen. But it's something about the staring at the screen that does it, I think.
Well, you can listen to it and not stare at the screen.
I no longer have the ability to multitask. Like, I used to be able to split attention the way you're talking about. It's like 90-10 now. Like, if I have a TV show on in the background and I'm doing some other shit, not a goddamn thing on that TV show is getting absorbed.
Yeah. I get that. I'm not like I said, I listen to the movie while I'm doing something else because I'm probably not paying attention to it, you know? But if I don't have a thing on TV, then it's just like too quiet.
I think actually maybe I don't feel that way because I have tinnitus.
Oh, that's not good, but I
Yeah.
guess would sort of help the situation. Yeah.
I the reason I don't have it on this year ever is because I have an earplug in here to help protect it. And it hasn't gotten any better, but it hasn't gotten any worse. So that's actually the win, that it's not degrading any further than it already is. But I have that earplug in. Dude, this ear I don't know the right way to say this. Having this earplug in is making me wonder if I'm autistic. Because one of the things that you notice in autistic apparently is an aversion to like loud sounds and surprise and the comfort of sort of relative sensory deprivation. I have loved having this shit in. It has been sick as fuck. It is so comfortable. It has made me sincerely wonder if like, oh damn, maybe that Venn diagram does include me. And the longer I've had it in, the less I've been able to tolerate loud sounds. It's very weird.
Well, I think that makes sense in that, yeah, they're going to be more jarring the less you are used to them, you know?
Mm. You think I'm overthinking it?
No,
Oh,
I did just want to bring up that point though,
sure.
where it's like, yeah, it is going to have that effect no matter what,
I
but
suppose.
sensitivity to like, you know, touch or sound or anything really, like, yeah, that can go hand in hand, but like that could also be just a thing that you have that is not an autism symptom, I believe.
Okay, because it's definitely like the kind of thing where it's like I have noticed that I am worse at dealing with loud noises. It's never been a thing that I thought of before, but now suddenly like a loud noise will be like, oh, and I'll jump, be like, oh my god, what the hell? That's not how it used to be. So maybe it's less like this is revealing what was already there and more that like that's what happens when you have an earplug in half the day. But it is something that I've genuinely like, oh, okay, maybe I learned something about myself today. Who knows?
Maybe
Do you
maybe go see a doctor, I don't know.
in America, dude?
Yeah,
DoorDash
good joke.
M&Ms. I'm not going to a doctor. That's the trade-off we made, dog. We have the
Just
shittiest imperial
ask your good buddy Grok.
You know that apparently there's some button on Twitter that like auto asks Grok to like give you the context of a post. And I know this because when I asked Grok about the Yakub thing, it was like, see your previous conversations. I've never touched the motherfucker. And it was just like random posts on which I must have fat fingered that button.
Yeah, never interacted with that button in my life.
If you click it, I bet it will reveal that you may have interacted with it. Actually, you don't log on to Twitter, which is probably the only safe thing to do.
Yeah. I I tried to look at your deck list on desktop, and I cannot get into my Twitter account. I am logged in on mobile, and I think as soon as it logs me out on mobile, we're just done. I'm just never going back.
Do you know how many passwords I had to guess in the process of setting up my new phone that hopefully will not explode? That is the worst part about setting up any new piece of technology.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I tried to log into Marvel Snap. It was sending the Google approval thing to my old phone. It was just like, what the fuck is this? Why would that ever be happening? Like, this is the whole point of it not happening. Is it just like the KM episode?
Not really. It's not like we talked about any of your special interests or anything.
Was that just like a really good joke that I should have ended the episode on? Oh,
no, that was entirely serious, and I like things did come up, but I don't think any more so than they occasionally get spritzed into other episodes, right? Like you didn't talk about the fucking Roman Empire for 20 minutes like you have on other episodes. I feel like that's more of a KM episode than this is.
I appreciate you calling it the Roman Empire, not the Byzantine Empire. And that's how you know I'm a real fucking weirdo about that shit. You know?
Well, also I went off on kind of a mini tangent about the branding of the Roman Empire. So
true. Yeah. One of the coolest things the Elder Scrolls ever did is instead of the Roman Empire, they have the Riemann Empire. It's so sick, dude. The etymology is totally different. In universe, it's named after a guy, Riemann Cyrodiil, which of course later becomes the Cyrodiilic Empire. But the Riemann Empire is like that's just that rocks. If I ever do a fantasy world where there's like a definite not Rome in it, which is actually every fantasy world has a not Rome in it. I promise to come up with something even less original than Riemann.
Riemann is awful.
Get it? Because it's Romulus and Remus. So it's the Riemann Empire instead of the Roman Empire.
No, it's like He-Man, but Re-Man. Like who's out there naming their kid that?
I think the linguistics of fantasy is actually really fascinating. This is where it really becomes the KM episode.
Yep.
Because they're all drawn on various cultures, but a lot of those cultures were sort of colonized or informed by Rome. So you get all of these names that are not necessarily from that culture, or these words, right? Like, for example, the word justiciar. There's a word in Swedish that refers to a magistrate with a like similar position, right? It's sort of like magisterial kind of lawyer judge role. That's what it was in like the 12th century. In Magic the Gathering, a justiciar is a paladin. Like that's like it's like a totally different thing, but like that's the word they use for it, right? Like it's a very
I mean, it's like a fancy paladin, right?
Yeah, it's like it implies like a higher ranked paladin, but it's definitely not like a judge. It's like a guy with armor and a sword.
Yeah.
Like
what is it Trueheart in Hearthstone? Was that also Justiciar and I just pronounced it Justicar?
I actually don't know, but if I had to guess, they're probably just the same word like every John. You know what I mean? Probably just the same word and like some shit added an E and pronounced the C differently. And that's every goddamn, that's every fucking word ever, honestly. But yeah, like that's just one of those things that I think about a lot is how the language of fantasy maps onto reality in ways that are pretty like Anglo-centric, I think you would say, for the most part. And the reason that like so many fantasy worlds have this like this was the peak of civilization and now we live in a sort of fallen age thing. It isn't just biblical, it's Rome. You're writing about a medieval setting in which that is literally true. They were living in a fallen age. They didn't have forks. Like that's what was real. Like they didn't have forks. The people in the Roman Empire in Constantinople, they had forks. They were made out of lead, but they had forks. And people who were doing like the Crusades or whatever, they just didn't have the concept of a fork. And yeah, I don't know. Like you look at a bunch of words from them, like Templar. If Magic used the word Templar, it would again be like a paladin kind of thing, that kind of deal. Like that, those kinds of connotations come from real history. And I think it's
Tactics Ogre has Templars, and they're the baddies.
Well, I mean, that's, true to life. Got that one right.
That's what I'm saying. Tactics
Nailed it.
Ogre's goated.
Yeah, I still haven't gotten past that first level because I got addicted to the Mountain Blade Bannerlord, which is just also Rome. It's exactly just the same thing for me. That's the itch of scratching is, ooh, I'm doing Roman stuff. That's it. I am a strikingly stereotypical man. I fear.
Yeah,
I take pride in like the Roman Empire I think of is not the Roman Empire they're thinking of, but
yeah, naturally.
It's still, it's also weird to be like very into the history of the Eastern Roman Empire and not be like, I don't know, a Greek nationalist, which is like 95% of other people who are into the history in this way. It's just a weird space to exist in.
I think you can like a thing. Like most people probably start out liking a thing and not being like really weird about it. But then for whatever reason they start getting really weird about it. You know what I mean?
What's the equivalent of that for Marvel Snap? Like Sydney Sweeney said that her personal TikTok For You page is all, quote, history facts, which led a lot of people to speculate on some things about Sydney Sweeney. But
yeah,
what's the Marvel Snap equivalent of like my front page is history facts? I just have an interest in matchmaking and MMR systems.
And then you just become a truther or whatever. No, I think it's like, oh, my opponent at, rank 30 emoted me when this fun, cool thing happened, so I emoted them back. And it's like this innocent exchange who now this person is like lives in your stream and only BM emotes you the same thing every time,
Well, I guess I would consider myself well and truly owned in the marketplace of ideas,
Yeah, but it started out in a good place, and they're like, I like using emotes to communicate, and then it led to them only using emotes to say, go fuck yourself.
Isn't that just the human experience? We learned words to communicate with each other, and all we use them for is to say, go fuck yourself. So
hey, you end up like a Pokemon.
Yeah, man. Well, like a Digimon, right? Then you could be go fuck yourself Mon. And you could be like the person who asks Glenn all these questions and asks the team.
I was thinking more so, I don't know if the Digimon like can only say their names like Pokemon. That would, I guess, make sense to me or whatever.
You might be right. Maybe they can't.
It'd be weird if they were just
sentient?
like, dude, I don't know. But you start out with like, oh, language is like this beautiful thing. And then you're just like, Squirtle, 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 Squirtle.
Yes. But they still convey meaning. That's what's so cool about those cartoons. They convey meaning without language, thanks to the study of human behavior and facial expressions.
Right. I'll just say it with like a different inflection, and
Yes.
you now know what I am talking about.
My Squirtle, his eyes are big and shiny and watery, and he's saying Squirtle. And now you're buying Squirtle merch, dog.
Yeah.
You're in the Pokemon Center. It's sold out. You can't get any Squirtle merch. You're furious. You get bootleg Squirtle merch. The Pokemon team sends a squad of Pinkertons to your house.
Yeah.
They still won't issue a cease and desist on Ice for using their IP, though.
What?
You didn't hear about that? I guess
No.
you wouldn't. Ice did like a gotta catch 'em all thing, and Pokemon, famously like a litigious company, did not C&D it.
This is all horrible. All of this is horrible.
This podcast is really just I bombard you with a bunch of like horrendous stuff that I have gaslit myself into finding funny.
It's funny until you think about it for 2 seconds, and then I just get more depressed.
Yeah, like what it actually speaks to is the atmosphere of fear that this current administration has created, you know? And I don't know, as someone who ICE fairly directly impacts, my girlfriend is a citizen. She is brown and I worry about it, right? Like it comes up. It is something that I have to think about. I don't know if I have any more right to say, like, it's okay to laugh at this or whatever. I don't think anything is ultimately okay or not okay to laugh at.
Well, again, humor
like
is a coping
laughing at stuff,
mechanism,
right?
etc. You know, like, and it is depressing, but you kind of have to laugh because otherwise you'll just be really fucking depressed all the time.
Yeah, my dad spent a lot of my early years on the couch yelling at news programs. He's a liberal. This was during the Bush administration, and like to his credit, those are correct instincts to have. Like that is how you should interact with the war in Iraq. That was the correct opinion to have at the time. He was right. I don't think it made him very happy being right, though. You know what I mean?
No, of course not.
That's he used to really like Jon Stewart for being the one thing that was able to actually make him enjoy the sort of world that he lived in. And long story short, I'm basically the Jon Stewart of Marvel Snap. Yeah, I'll take my awards at the door, you know? Like that's really what I'm trying to convey here. You know, thank you for the Emmys, the primetime Emmys.
Okay.
You got any parting thoughts for our inexplicably loyal viewers?
Ball pit was good.
Oh yeah.
I'm mostly off it, I guess. I've done the same thing over and over again to the point where nothing different happens. Played Octopath Zero. That was kind of good, kind of shit. I don't know.
Never played any of the Octopath games.
They usually ruined my life. This one did the same. Where I just, after I'm like, 8 to 10 hours in every 24-hour cycle, and I'm just like, oh, I need to stop at some point. This one actually beat. The other two I haven't beaten. This one, the true ending is very strange. You fight the final boss with all 36 of your party members. Not like in different parties. They're just all lined up. It's crazy.
I don't know. That's probably cool as hell. I don't know. It sounds like
it was cool. It was pretty cool.
Did they teleport through portals like in Endgame? Oh, you never saw Endgame, did you?
I saw Endgame, dumbass. What?
I made some reference to Marvel the other day, like one of the big movies, and you were like, I wouldn't watch that shit.
I watch all kinds of shit. What are you talking about?
You know what? Now that you mention it,
there's like one Marvel thing. There's like one or two Marvel things that I haven't seen. And it's not because I like Marvel. It's just I have the TV
It's
on in the
on.
background. Yeah.
Did I hallucinate this conversation? Am I dreaming
Or it
about
was
you,
not
Gerry?
me.
I'm dreaming about you. I think that's the only explanation. I dream of podcasts. Oh, you know what? It should have been I dream of Gerry, right? Because it's I dream of Jeannie. I fucked it.
Yeah.
I blew it.
Yeah.
I've been talking a lot about the thought process of doing a podcast and all that, and I want you to know that after we went off air, someone listened to the podcast and was like, "I'm going to pitch KM a new podcast."
Okay.
So now I'll also have 3. Is largely the point. I will get onto equal footing with you as a podcast haver and a hot take artist.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
It's like celebrating a birthday, you know, like a big one with like a 0. You're like, yo, congratulations on your 3rd podcast. It's like your 30th birthday. Big deal.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's I actually do plan on taking them up on it. I think there will actually be a 3rd podcast. I don't want to speak too soon. You don't want to jinx these things. But
The world is not ready.
yeah, for a 3rd KM podcast. The idea is basically this podcast is just we fuck around. You know?
Especially with this episode, I couldn't tell.
We've been very serious and focused this whole time. I think there's probably room for a podcast where it's a slightly less structured and stripped down discussion than, say, 8 Cubes, but perhaps more structured than this. Which, I mean,
wouldn't take much. Yeah.
It's a pretty low bar.
Yeah.
You can do a lot. Any game recs for me? I've been looking for another mobile game that isn't Marvel Snap, but every time I try a game, I'm just like, fuck, this isn't Marvel Snap.
I mean, I got plenty of dog shit for you. Like what kind of thing do you want?
I want Marvel Snap. What is the closest game to Marvel Snap? Give me like a hero collector, you know? That kind of deal.
I was gonna say like Gwent. Is that still a thing?
I think it is, but I don't think it has. See, the thrill of acquiring something is actually pretty key to my enjoyment of these games.
Okay.
It can't be well monetized. You know what I mean? If it's too generous, like Runeterra, I don't know if that sticks.
Yeah, then they just give it away. It's not you don't have to work for it. You don't have to dig into the wallet. Nothing about it hurts. So it doesn't feel earned.
So true.
I mean, you could try like Shadowverse, I guess. It's pretty bad. Vampire Survivors is actively good, and you do acquire things.
I have slightly too much respect for myself to play Shadowverse, which is mostly just like I don't want anyone to see those cards on my phone.
They aren't that bad, KM. Keep in mind that with the original, they censored like 2 things in the American version that weren't even that terrible to begin with. So
it's probably not Fate Grand Order level, but you know.
I mean, like Nikke is the one that I think of.
Yeah, Fate Grand Order is like I feel bad about enjoying this. I think it probably makes me a worse person to enjoy this game. You know? Like that's my version of like the Rian Gonzalez thing.
Word. I think Shadowverse is pretty bad, and I don't know. I think it might check those boxes for you, but I don't think it is a good version of that. And then Hearthstone, you just got shit given to you, so I think that kind of ruins the collector aspect of it.
I've also been too good at that game. Like, it can't be a game I've been good at. You know what? I actually kind of enjoyed Warcraft Rumble before they killed that. It's like something that's like in the genre, but not the genre. Like Warcraft Rumble was something I liked.
Did you play
Once
Clash
Upon a
Royale?
Galaxy, obviously. I've never played Clash Royale, but my friends that do say that it has gotten way worse. So don't do that.
Maybe, but that's for like the top levels, right? Like when you have like level 5 cards, I think the game is probably still going to be pretty fun. I imagine the new player experience is pretty similar.
Okay. I'll think about it.
You're just like, oh, baby dragon is the nuts or whatever.
It's weird that you mentioned that because I did when I did my sponsored thing for Galaxy, they had my boy SUV do like a demo game that they sent out to all the creators. Just LSV playing a game. And obviously, my boy SUV, I click it, I'm excited. There's a baby dragon in the game. And one of the things that he says, no explanation to me whatsoever, is I'm gonna take this guy, he's pretty strong. And it's like, God damn it, man, I need to know why.
Yeah.
Like, I watched that video, I was like, buddy, I need to know why. Why is this card strong? What are the things that make this card strong? That wasn't like the impetus for it or anything like that. I wasn't like, oh my God, I'm actually mad at SUV for this. But it came up and I was just like, I know that's not what your job is right now. But I hate when someone is like, this is pretty strong and then doesn't explain why it is, especially in content for a new player.
Well, I hope you don't think that this is the same thing, but I was like simply explaining the new player experience.
Oh,
I was not trying to give you strategy advice.
God, no.
I could say that it has a big health pool, it is flying, and it is AoE. And there are not many of those things.
I was not intentionally trying to make the connection between that and you. The connection was just, there's a baby dragon that's strong in this game.
Yeah, this is me trying to not be misconstrued.
Oh, no. This is what I mean when it's like, I feel like I do things with such intention, but what I actually do is I do things with intention that they convey what I think to me, and then don't really examine what they could convey or could be interpreted as to other people, because that's too much work, like avoiding the art of a plagiarist.
Right.
Or
saving money is way too much work. How am I going to acquire things if I look at a thing and it's telling me I'm not supposed to buy this?
Right?
I think that their daily variance thing should have more than 9 or more than 8, I guess.
I kind of think they're throwing money away by not having a little bit of a button there that refreshes your daily variance.
Yeah, sell me more shit. What are you doing?
Not making money. Like, it's crazy how willing they are to examine.
I think they probably are making money.
Sure.
That's my guess, but it could be more. Sure.
I think it's wild how willing they are to examine like opportunity costs in like every other game mode. They understand the opportunity cost. They're like, here's the price for the thing. We're how many games you have to play. We're doing like hyper precise calculations on opportunity cost. And nobody is like, what is the opportunity cost of us not putting a little button that's the refresh symbol in the shop? How much money have they already lost by not having that functionality?
No, I think it dials up FOMO. I think you could make the argument that it makes them more money because the like pinning a card in the token shop, right? Like in theory, this is supposed to drive FOMO if they don't have that, but because of popular demand, they eventually did instigate that thing because it felt bad. The amount of feel bad overwhelmed the amount of like FOMO sales they were getting. So say they showed you like 20 variants per day and you could like pin one or whatever. They're probably making less money that way.
That's interesting. I wonder. I have no real sense of how powerful a motivator FOMO is. for that stuff, but I would imagine it matters. I just don't think I could say anything smart or intelligent on the topic, which normally on this podcast does not stop me, but it will this time.
Well, you do capitulate to this a non-zero amount in terms of like gacha games and stuff, right? Like, I mean, I guess maybe some of it is like, oh, I just want to acquire things. It's not even like FOMO that's hitting you. It's just like, I just want a new toy.
Yeah.
But I don't know, the Saber collab did get you to log on. Presumably that is some amount of like FOMO or whatever, even if you didn't like really engage with it. You gave them some money, but
I'm not saying I'm immune to FOMO. I'm saying I just wouldn't have a gauge of how it would apply to this situation and how to weigh the opportunity cost of limiting it a little bit against just giving people more things to buy.
Yeah. I think when you had a small pool of variants, it made sense to keep it small, but now the pool is so large. And
they do takeovers
also
all the goddamn time.
Yeah. Also, that's true. It's just like, okay, I don't like, you know, Ricardo Vicenzi, whatever his name is.
You don't.
I know.
Like
yeah, you're
guy?
you're trippy server guy. Yeah, I'm like, oh, I don't like him, but it's like those are the only things I see in the store.
Vincenzo
I would love to
Riccardi, by the way.
Ricardo Vicenzi.
Kind of got it, except
Yeah.
like reverse. Yeah.
Yeah. For example, there are 30 pixels I don't have. And because people complain about them so much, they just don't show them in the store anymore.
You know, when they first came out, you could only get pixels on the collection track. They weren't available in the store.
Show them to me. I'll buy them.
They've effectively brought that back, you know? Oh, did you play Grand Arena enough to get all those pixels or no?
Nah, I got the Annihilus.
I got Thanos. Which
I have a Rose Besh Thanos, and I have the Joe Mad Captain America.
I have, I think, every Thanos. I'm not positive if I don't have a Thanos, it's probably like a 7 or a 1200 gold one. And the one I am using is currently Pixel Thanos. So it shows you the value of buying a variant in this game. You'll replace it with a joke as soon as they make a good joke one, or at least I will.
Yeah, but many such cases. There are so many people I talk to who are like, I love Dan Hip.
I love Dan Hip.
Yeah. No, it is literally everyone who's not me. Like there are maybe 2 other people who are like, no, you're right. That guy's art is annoying or whatever.
I don't see a huge functional difference between Dan Hip and Pixel. Beyond, I vaguely aesthetically prefer Dan Hip. I
aesthetically prefer Pixel, but that's because of nostalgia.
Yeah. Are they even good at hitting that nostalgia, though? I feel like the problem with the Pixel variants we get is they don't actually... I've played some Pixel games, you know?
You ever played Maximum Carnage on Sega Genesis?
No.
When the rest of your life sucked, and this was the only saving grace that you had was to like try and play this for 8 hours a day because the thought of doing anything else was just terrible, and this is the only game you had? Yeah, okay. Pixels are cool.
Dude, my first gaming console was a Palm Pilot. We've established this. I've played with some Pixels, and I don't want to get into my childhood, but I wouldn't describe it dissimilarly. You know? I was a pretty miserable kid, and gaming was super dope because I wasn't me, or there was something that I could actually accomplish that I enjoyed doing. I've played Pixels. I never had a Sega Genesis, though. I just, you know, as long as we're doing this, I just, you know, my parents just didn't think that they could get me one of those. They just didn't even let me have even a Sega Genesis and Nintendo 64. They wouldn't get me anything, console-wise. Wouldn't happen. I was so deprived.
Yeah, this is like they're bad parents, but they're they're present. And mine was trying to be a good parent, but never there because she always had to work.
Yeah.
And so it was like, well, fuck, I guess I got to do something. And it's, I'll get you a Sega when it goes on sale.
I'll go to bat for my mom here. My mom tried very hard to be a good parent, and I think largely got there.
Yeah.
My dad, when I was 12, was like, I don't want to be your dad anymore. We're friends.
That's crazy.
It is pretty crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah. All right, I'm no longer your father, but we're bros. Yeah. We're bros now.
I don't know. For the first time in my adult life, I got him a gift. Got him a hoodie. Been cold recently. Shakes a little bit. So I got him a hoodie. And I was just like, remember that?
Did he say thanks, bro, and then fist bump you?
Yeah, I don't know. Like that definitely did happen.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know. My mom's great. She tried really hard, and I did not make it easy, you know? Shout out to my mom. Like,
well, yeah, it is tough when there's like one well-meaning parent and then one who's just like, we're just gonna be bros, you know? It's that, like, if you removed him from the equation, maybe your childhood is better, right? Because she doesn't have like this obstacle in the way.
They got divorced basically the second I left the house, which
they're like, oh.
Yeah, fucking got that done. Yeah, fuck. I'm out of here. Yeah.
No more reason to stay together. So
my dad is he's kind of why I don't want to have kids. I feel like if I had to deal with me for 12 fucking years, I'd be like, fuck this too. I'd be like,
I'm not your dad anymore.
This. Yeah, we're bros.
Not your dad anymore.
I'm good, dog. Like, I think he's just the kind of person who was never really meant to have kids and did it because, that's what you
societal
do. Yeah.
Expectations. Yeah. Dude, I'm gonna sit my cats down tonight and have the talk with them.
Your bros?
Yeah. Well, I'm not your caretaker anymore. We're bros.
You gotta take care of yourself. Yeah, I don't want to make it sound like it's insane, right? I was a very bad kid.
It is insane. It's insane. He's just like, I'm done. I don't
think he ever really actually was done. I think it was easier for him to contextualize the relationship if he didn't have to be responsible for my actions. Like, I think it was largely that.
Yeah, he's just like, well, after 12 years, I realized responsibility sucks, and I'm just gonna wash my hands of it.
Which is why I cleverly have realized this before having a kid. That's my big innovation in the field of being like, responsibility fucking sucks.
You were speaking earlier about how you are self-aware, and this is a check in your favor for sure.
I am similar enough to him that I know goddamn well I should not be a parent until I'm not this person. And I see no signs of that ever changing. We'll see. But being able to parse whether that has actually happened or if I feel societal pressure about it, that's a little bit more difficult. But I think I can do it.
FOMO, if you will.
I've got kid FOMO. That's probably just a real thing, though.
No, it is.
Yeah.
It is, for sure. You see, like, all your friends having kids and them talking about how great it is.
Well, fucking luckily all my friends are Magic players. So I'm
not
good,
for real.
Dog. I don't gotta worry about that shit. I hang out with nerds. I'd be lucky to see one of them get a date. We're good. We're good over here. I am not gonna feel that pressure anytime soon.
I got way too many friends with kids, considering that.
Yeah, that is weird.
It is weird.
You need to find some more unfuckable losers to hang out with.
Yeah.
That's you gotta get like me, dog.
True. You should have given that advice to your dad, or
you know what's fucked up, dude? I saw a picture of my dad when he was like 25. He had a 6-pack and like a porn stash. I was like, damn, dude, I didn't know you had it like that. Good for you, man. Like, all right, good for
also clearly not a fan of responsibility. Like, your dad was probably really fun.
Yeah. I think he was probably a lot like me. Like, we have a lot of similarities. Just the big difference is that I was smart enough to realize that I wasn't supposed to be a dad before I was a dad. That's really the only gap, I think. He's a good bro, you know?
Yeah.
A good hang.
I mean, he realized he might not make a good father, but he'd make a good bro.
Chiller. He's a chiller. Yeah.
It would be sick if this is when you're 12 and then he like hands you a beer or whatever, you know, like
I was never cool enough to even want to drink until I got to college. Not even just a thing that I would want to do. I was the worst.
No, but that would be
the
the bro dad thing to do, you know?
Right. I suppose. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what his whole deal is. I think he's probably a nice and fun guy who should never have been an adult. And I think a lot of the things that are bad about me, I see in him manifested more strongly. But a lot of the things that are good about me too are things that are manifested more strongly in him. I think a lot of the influence of my mother is to moderate some of the worse or more eccentric behaviors of this man. He's a character. It's what I would say. A little bit of a cartoonish human being. And I think I have some of that in myself, but I think a lot of you know, he's a pretty big part of who I am, but I would consider myself grateful that I am not 100% who he is.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it sounds like your dad was maybe born a couple decades too early and would have made for a good YouTuber, you know?
He would have made for a good YouTuber. He ended up in academia, which is just what you would do before you were a YouTuber, right?
Yeah.
And he's, I think maybe, you know, born a few decades early to get properly diagnosed with whatever it is going on in there.
Also true. I mean, I was born a couple decades too early to get diagnosed with anything too, so
yeah,
I feel that.
I think it's one of those where it's like the kind of person he is. You know, he could have gone a bunch of different ways depending on when that person happened. And I don't want to like speak ill of his trauma. He certainly had plenty, knowing the way he was raised. Like, I don't want to act like this is like he is a terrible dude or whatever. Just it's fairly mediocre dad.
It's not like he made the conscious choice to, you know,
wasn't cut out for it, you know, and he passed on the wisdom of if you're not cut out for something, don't fucking do it.
Yeah.
You'll basically
ideally
be rolling the dice on what you get out of that if you do that.
Ideally, before you have the kid, figure that shit out, you know, and you're like, all right.
Pretty crucial part of it, I would say, but I guess he did okay. You know, I've got a podcast.
Working on your third podcast, man. That is that is success.
It's a damning indictment of him as a parent, really, is my kid has 3 podcasts.
Yeah.
you gotta rethink that one. But yeah, I now think we have qualified this as a KM episode. That's what this is.
It's like halfway there, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'll give you a 0.5.
Slouching towards a KM episode. One day we'll do a full one where I just talk to you about oh dude, I finished Robin Hobb. The Realms of the Elderling series, 16 books. Brother, I cried. I actually cried. I didn't expect to. But like, fuck, I'm really afraid to say this on the podcast. It's just going to be like, he's telling me about another horrible thing. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was cheating on his wife, the lady from Curb Your Enthusiasm, with a 30-year-old political journalist named Olivia Nuzzi. Olivia Nuzzi's book came out recently. It is called American Canto. It sold half as many copies as John Fetterman's Unfettered. And in it, I can't even begin to explain this. Okay, so before her relationship with RFK Jr., or at the time of her relationship with RFK Jr., she was working as a journalist and helped him to like kill stories that were damaging to him. In addition, she was dating a different journalist, I believe engaged to. This is a man who is 20 years older than her. His name is Ryan Lizza. He is currently posting a Substack detailing all of the ways she was shitty to him. And
Nice.
yeah, A+. Very annoying man, but great content. This has led to the revelation that in the conversations that Miss Nutzi and RFK Jr. had, RFK Jr., mind you, 40 years older than her. Before Ryan Lizza, she dated Keith Olbermann when she was 19 and he was 55. Something's going on here. I don't really care to speculate on what, but there's clearly a thing happening, whether that be creepy old men or someone attempting to climb social ladders in the other half of that transaction, presumably both. Anyway, RFK Jr. described Trump as a bunch of little lies that add up to one big truth, in much the same way as a novel would. It's a story rather than a literal thing. I actually think that's like a fairly poetic way of phrasing it, which I largely bring up to say, I don't often cry at sort of stories constructed to make you feel things, right? Because you sort of see the artifice, you see the structure of them. This didn't feel like it was trying to make me sad. It felt like it was trying to show me the beauty in the sadness.
Okay.
And I was really struck by it as a work. I do recommend the Robin Hobb books. The best trilogy by far is Live Ship Traders. They are quite incredibly well written, though. All of them. They're just doing a lot of
Nice.
good things. Very, very good. I don't recommend either American Kanto or Unfettered.
Noted.
Just in case, But yeah.
I was on the fence.
I do recommend finding someone on Twitter who will post Ryan Lizza's Substack so you don't have to pay for it to read gossip that matters to 1,000 people. This is like if the New Yorker magazine had streamer drama, that's what this is. This is streamer drama for people who read the New Yorker. It rocks.
Yeah, I'm good.
Listen out. You're just missing out on the greatest political story of all time, in which RFK Jr. texts a 30-year-old woman, "I'm going to release into you. You are a canyon and I am the river." Quote. That's a quote.
Just think. 6-pack, porn stash, that could have been your dad.
He does not have the way with words to come up with that. That's too specific. He doesn't have it in him. He could never be the river.
He did, and then he became a Pokemon. We've established this. Now he's all we bros.
Yeah, he's a Pokemon, and his Pokemon name is We Chillin'?
Yeah.
We chillin'? Bros? We're friends. Dude, I got friendzoned by my dad.
Yes, but
I actually hadn't thought about that. That rocks. That's the coolest thing I can say.
That is a good like YouTube title.
Yeah, no, that's the title of the podcast. Friendzoned by my dad.